Ghislaine Heather from the CEO of the Free Speech Union joins me on the program now. Kia ora, thanks for your time today.
Kia ora, Andrew.
Firstly, to the Law Commission's paper, you'd think, the Law Commission writing a paper on human rights, great news, right? Well, maybe not.
It's very interesting and a very long report,
Okay.
as I'm sure you might have gone through it already. Everyone wants the dignity of people to be protected, but the recommendations in the report do not at all appear to be a neutral law. We're at the Free Speech Union, we're very concerned that it turns into compelled conformity or even a state-imposed orthodoxy of thinking, and it's not allowing people to speak freely, debate openly, and hold differing views. We're very concerned about especially the free speech implications from this report.
Now, anybody's human rights, there's always a balance, isn't it? That we need to perhaps hold back on some of our human rights in order to protect the human rights and dignity of other people. There's a balance, a spoken or an unspoken contract within society that we won't push our human rights in a way which tramples over other people. But in particular, the area of trans rights, of gender ideology, these issues in particular seems to say that some rights are more equal than others.
That's entirely right. When you live in a community, in a civil society, it's all about acknowledging the rights and acknowledging the rights conflicts.
Yep.
But it really does seem here, acknowledging that where there may be some rights conflicts, it appears that we then can't talk about it. We then can't raise it. We then, as parents, as students, as teachers, as employees, or even employers, it is a state-mandated orthodoxy or way to approach, and even respectful discussion could be disagreement is legally risky, or you could open yourself up to discrimination claims. It's very much a chilling effect on open and respectful discussion, where you want to be looking at the rights conflicts and how we can live together in a community.
Talking about gender ideology in particular, and it's fair to say that that various people have different views on this one, and it would be nice to think we could have open discussion about this one, respectful dialogue perhaps. But when we legislate things such as misgendering or dead naming, or even weaponize those and make those offences, we can't even say hello, let alone have a conversation.
It really does stifle that open discussion in a society. In an employment situation, if you wanted to just ask questions about a bathroom policy or a sports or uniforms or pronouns, even raising a respectful question could be taken as a detriment or used as a discrimination claim. Now, that's not free speech at all. That's not the society we want to be in with a mandated orthodoxy. We need to be able to discuss these things openly.
Should there be some protections in place, though? Because all very well to say, wouldn't it be nice to have a respectful conversation? But there's quite a bit of abuse and bad language flowing in both directions over this one. I'm sure that, as members of a civil society, trans people should have rights, should have the opportunity to make their choices, to go about their life in certain ways without being abused or had negative comments thrown at them. They should have the right to quiet enjoyment of their life, but this perhaps stretches that a bit further.
It does appear to stretch that a bit further. Everyone deserves the right to dignity, privacy, autonomy, security, but by imposing a particular orthodoxy on schools, on employers, on providers of single-sex facilities, and providing and imposing that orthodoxy in one manner just shuts down any debate and any open discussion about what are the best ways that we can solve this problem, and probably just creates more disagreement and dissension if we can't come together and openly discuss it as a community. The Law Commission ironically says that it's not their role to settle societal debates on sex and gender, but entirely, they really seem to be coming down with a hard hand and not allowing society to speak about these issues.
Yeah, they're the defence team in some ways for gender ideology with this paper. Just asking though, is this a policy document or is this a discussion paper? Is this a starter for 10 and saying, okay, here's some ideas, let's kick this round, or are they saying effectively to the government, we believe this should be the law?
That's a great question. They spent 2 years on this, looking at this report and producing it, and they have produced 27 recommendations that they've now put to the government for the government to consider. So I would think it's well more advanced than a discussion paper. These are the carefully considered Law Commission recommendations, and I think they are very dangerous for freedom of speech, and we will be looking for demanding very strong protection for society to be able to keep engaging in these debates and to have a bit, making sure that our rights to speech and debate and just to hold differing views don't disappear from society. So it's not in law at the moment, but the way that it's framed, we're very concerned that it might be taken up.
I mean, this is the heart of the legal profession, really, that you have argument and counter-argument, that you have robust debate, that you have two minds and two ideologies, two different points of view engaging so that the truth can emerge. Well, that's the theory, at least. The Free Speech Union, I'm sure, has got some views and opinions on this one. And you've got a few lawyers, I've noticed, as well. What's the next stage from your point of view? I'm sure you'll have something to say, Ghislaine.
No, absolutely. We put out a media release last week. We'll be releasing more sort of op-eds. We'll be sending letters to the Minister as well as the Law Commission, maybe even looking to engage with the Human Rights Commission, because they will be administering these laws if they're in. We'd also be raising the discussion with our supporters and publicly as well to let people know what the actual effects of some of these recommendations will be and how they will stifle dissent, make it legally risky, and not be a good way forward for a productive conversation for our society.
And hey, as I mentioned in the introduction, the UK government's done us a favour in the last few days. If we're speculating and going, oh, I wonder what society would look like if we engaged laws such as what the Law Commission is recommending, that means comedians arrested by armed guards at an airport whilst attempting to come back into the country over a tweet that was sent a couple of weeks ago. Is that too much of a leap, Ghislaine? Is that too broad a bow to say that the recommendations of the Law Commission could lead to people being arrested, perhaps even imprisoned, because of something they say in their social media?
On this, what happened to Graham was you couldn't make it up.
Yep.
5 armed police turning up at a plane disembarkment to arrest a comedian. That was a direct link to some of the earlier hate speech laws and incitement laws that New Zealand was trying to bring in. We love to follow Australia, the UK, and Canada and a lot of these laws, and the beauty of being behind them sometimes is that we can see the absolute ridiculous results that occur from it. So New Zealand could have been down that path where armed guards would show up at the airport to arrest you for a tweet. These recommendations will actually just stifle debate and discussion in society, in the employment workplaces, in your schools, in your community, in a different way. I don't think that armed guards will turn up, but they could weaponize the Human Rights Act, and discrimination claims could just shut down any open and productive conversation we have. We are following in their footsteps.
Now, Graham Linehan, of course, was in New Zealand not that long ago as a guest of the Free Speech Union, wasn't arrested at the airport, I'm glad to say, although there were some questions about whether or not the police could afford to protect him, and all these sorts of issues even then were being kicked around. I suppose the good news of this is because it's high profile, because it is like something from the Father Ted series that Graham was involved with writing, because it is that ridiculous, it has gained a lot of international profile. He's been on a lot of podcasts and talk shows since then. He'll probably sell a lot more books. in some ways, this is highlighting the consequences of ridiculous legislation. I think Graham will probably be let off, but maybe he's done us a favour in this regard.
How he was treated was terrible, and the ordeal that he went through sounded awful. But he has done the world a favour in a way of just highlighting what vague and subjective language can be weaponized, and the farcical results that can happen from it. So I think he will move on to another level of fame in podcasting and journalism. But the Prime Minister over there commented on it, the Commissioner of Police commented on it as well. It really raised the profile of, we're not just fear-mongering, we're not saying this could never happen. We're seeing examples, unfortunately, played out daily, if not weekly, overseas, of what vague and subjective language does.
And hey, as you say, we have the advantage of the Poms going first on this one. We can go, oh gosh, we wouldn't want that type of a society, would we? An opportunity to have our say. I know you'll be doing a lot of work in this area with your connections and contacts, but people can also jump on board with us, fsu.nz, the place to go. Jelaine, thank you for what you and your team do. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.